Welcome back, everybody. This is Mog on Mog Squad, playing some more Kerbal Space Program with you folks today. And since we finished up our tour of the galaxy and all the moons and planets that we have in the system of Kerbal, we're going to be moving on to, I think, more home-based missions at this point. As you can see, we have a plane out instead of our usual rocket. We're going to go on a little exploration. This is called the Explorer 1. I started building a shuttle. It ended up flying really well in atmosphere, so I just made it air-breathing engines and called it the Explorer 1. It's my new cruise ship style plane that I'm working on. Well, as you can see, a lot of air intakes. This thing can get up going pretty quick. Kind of fun to build. But anyway, moving on. As far as pilots go, we have Fun Gun, Sean, and Buzz Kerbin all up in here. So Fun Gun is a returning subscriber, subscriber not, and as is Sean, though I think his was Sean Z, or something like that in the previous save. Anyway, this is Sean back again. And they're going to be piloting this thing out here today. But as you can see, there's this little weird device in the back here. This is basically my outline for a refueler for this ship that can pull up underneath and dock in to refuel this ship for when it runs low. As if we need to get very far around Kerbin, we can take this thing and just need to drop a refueler near it. And I'm going to be building one of those and probably having to send it out. We'll see how far we get. Our goal is we're coming from here. No, I'm sorry. We're coming from... from here. And the idea is we're going to come across the ocean here and explore the desert. Because there's supposed to be an Easter egg out here, and if we can't find that, there's going to be another Easter egg a little further toward the coast here. So we're going to be working our way that direction. I've never been to either of these, so this is going to be a bit of an exploration for me. So let's go ahead and decouple from the refueler there. We're going to turn off our brake. We're going to engage our engines and throttle on up, and we're going to get moving here. So thankfully I've got all set up with my joystick on here once again, so it makes flying these things quite fun. So you can see this thing actually has a lot of good lift and flies very stably. This is on a normal control, not precision controls. I don't have SAS or anything on currently. I'm not pulling on the throttle at all. This is not trimmed. It flies very balanced, which I was excited to finally get balanced properly because of the offset engines. It was kind of a pain trimming the wings and everything in build so that they were perfectly well, not perfectly. It still has a little bit of give. Anyway, we need to make a turn and start heading this way. Actually, I probably should have turned right and got on a better heading, but you know what? Whatever. So that's north. We want to go closer toward east, or west, I'm sorry, toward west. So let's get lined up here, start heading for these mountains, and eventually we should see ocean. But for now, let's turn on SAS. We are going to get precision controls on just to make this flight more stable and easy. We're going to take this thing up to altitude so that we can get going real fast and start not having to waste too much of our fuel. So as you can see, pretty steep of a climb, but we're definitely gaining speed and and flying very stably at this altitude. It's very nice. I really do enjoy this ship. And I've done some testing with it. I've taken it on quite a few flights before this iteration. There was Shuttle 1, which I still have the build for. I might actually go back and show you guys the craft through its stages that I still have saved anyway. I think I've only got as Shuttle 1 saved, but I'll at least show you that. And show you the plans for building off this design into a return glider or a single stage to orbit. I'm going to try to make it, but you know what? It's going to take a lot of finagling, and who knows if we'll actually be able to do it. Making single stage to orbits that actually function well as mission planes for, like, you know, rendezvousing with a low orbit spaceship or a station or something so that you can retrieve crew. Always a fun thing to do. Anyway, I think I need to be watching, my air intakes. So yeah, I've kind of got this set here. We should start cruising and gaining speed. I'm going to leave it at about this altitude and try to get it so that our node here is going to be resting right on the horizon, so we're not really gaining. We're just going forward is the idea. Try to keep it as level as possible at a good cruising altitude. We're going to get up higher, but I want to gain some speed first. Oh, we're dipping below the horizon, so we're losing altitude. Let's go ahead and pull that back up just a hair. Come on. Oh, keyboard, you can do this. Okay. I know I said I had my joystick hooked up, but for some of these fine precisions, letting back go as I'm pulling back on the joystick, just letting it go, it still like provides that feedback until it centers out again. So having a keyboard command real quick to just notch up the nose and just immediately releasing it helps set the SAS at the proper point, since there's no outside effect on the nav ball or whatever when you're just using the keyboard, as opposed to the extended effect of having the joystick moving. Anyway, I hope you guys kind of understood that. I wasn't just talking nonsense, but let's see. Are we on the right heading? Yeah, I think so. Coming right across here, we should come about the midpoint of this, is what I'm thinking. And we'll be able to kind of just scope out the desert. I hear there's some fun stuff. There's also something up here I want to see if I can find. And yeah, we'll go exploring. We'll take a little bit of time to check out Kerbin in all of its glory. So as a matter of fact, why don't we go ahead, shut off that for a little bit, and just let you guys see the scenery. Since this plane can pretty much fly itself, which is nice. Yeah, I like Kerbin. I like what they've done with the place, and it's supposed to be a lot of cool things happening soon with it too. Anyway, this is going to take a while, guys. I'm going to come back to you as we get toward the ocean or toward the other side of the continent there. You can see the ocean approaching, so we're just going to basically just keep trekking out over the endless blue. And I'm going to come back once we get closer to the other side, the desert. Okay, guys, I wanted to show you this before we got actually out toward our main cruising altitudes. I want to show you just how high up this thing can get stably. So we're at about 17 kilometers up and rising still. So I'm dropping back our nose just a hair to sort of start riding the horizon again, as opposed to gaining altitude. But we're at about 17.5 kilometers at this point. So we're up pretty thin atmosphere. And as you can see, our air intakes have come down a bit. But look at our speed at this point. We are just gaining. And actually, I'm going to tilt up just a hair and let that reset itself since we were losing altitude there, it looks like. Come on. Okay. Oh, that's another thing. This thing does actually have RCS, so if I start ended up needing RCS maneuverability, this thing actually does have support for it. So in case we start rapidly spinning out of control, that should help stabilize us at this kind of altitude. Come on. Stay up at altitude. Or stay up with your nose there. I'm going to set it right there, closer to 20. Keep that thing pitched up. Okay. So yeah, we're starting to cross the ocean. I just wanted to get back into a cruising position and just kind of show you guys. This thing can actually get up closer to the 20K mark stably if I'm actually trying to pay attention to it and do this well. But, you know, between talking and whatnot, we're doing all right. Anyway, we're going to come back as we get closer out to the desert there. Alright, so here we are again, as you can see, approaching the desert. And check out that altitude. We're up at about the 20K mark, and we're still at about 0.4... 4.5-ish air intake at this altitude, fluctuating a bit, but I can actually sustain a good altitude, like 22-ish, I think is when it starts to get down to about the 1.5 or 0.15 range, which is, we need about 0.12, I think. So that's when I start to pay attention, is when once it gets down to that point. Oh, those upper engines sure aren't being very efficient at this point, are they? Specific impulse... 10, whoa, can't see that one, and 12, okay, so not quite as efficient. Thrust, whoa, yeah, look at the thrust they're providing, like 30 compared to the 215 this one's providing at this altitude. That's crazy. These engines, these back ones, are more efficient than these ones at high altitude. These ones are more efficient at low altitude. But this one's pretty awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad it keeps it stable. I wasn't entirely sure about that. So as you can see, we are definitely still rising, but yeah, our air intake's slowly going down. I kind of want to get this thing up to a full cruise altitude where it's pretty much biting the end of its air intakes, and just see how it runs. But we're coming over the desert. I don't see much just yet. I think you'll know when you see it, unless you guys are familiar with what I'm looking for here in the desert. And if you are, feel free to drop comments if somebody else asks. I'm not too worried. I'm sure they'd like to see it if you know, we let them know. Anyway, I'm gonna scout around a bit more and Probably come back to you guys if we start finding something or come across something cool. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. Whoa, controls. Okay, I almost lost the plane flight there. That was a bit far off of a trajectory. A bit further than I'd like to be at this altitude, especially. Come on, stop it now. Settle back in. Okay. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this plane, and look at how much fuel we have left. We've spent less than half, and we've made it from there to here so far. Oh, we're coming up on the other side of the ocean, so we're going to want to cut into the right and bring our trajectory back, because I'm going to hover it right around this altitude. Just keep up the speed, because look at our speed. Like, when we're not turning and maneuvering, we're pushing 1,000. Whoa, 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 whoa. And as you can see, we're starting to get contrails. I'm going to turn back on precision controls. Whew. That was a little much. Okay, so let's bring this thing back over. Come on now, we can do this. Come on, retrograde marker, pick up. So yeah, it's a bit iffy to control at this altitude, and you really do need to be stable and on your trajectory to get much of a lift going. Which, I mean, it makes sense. It does. But trying to turn and maintain altitude's a little iffy. Well, I sure don't see anything just yet down here at all. And I'm not entirely sure where I should be looking in the desert, which is kind of why I brought a plane, because I didn't really want to just take a rocket out here and land, because I wasn't entirely sure exactly where to aim for, and I'm kind of bad at doing that in atmosphere, as you may remember from the Lathe mission. Oh, that was an interesting one. So let's set our heading about here, and we'll kind of skim along the coast, see what we can find. Because I don't think we'll need to refuel this thing. I'm actually pretty excited. I've taken this thing for quite a few drives, and it should be cool. I did build it. I did build it with being able to refuel it and keep flying it. That's why you saw the little attachment there from the get-go when it launched. Because I built one onto it with a mock-up that I can rebuild fairly easily. So that's what I did, and I'll just do a rebuild in a rocket form and aim it out here, and basically create a little plane fueling depot. Is the idea, with a small rover that'll actually do the refueling. That is the idea. Okay, let's tilt back up. We're losing altitude. I don't want to be losing this much, because look at how slow we've, or how much we've slowed down. Let's turn on RCS for a moment and use that to help stabilize us. There we go. As you can see, I got a bunch up front there, a couple in the back, a couple of the four directional ones on here, but I'm just using those two in the back currently to stabilize the heading. I'm going to shut that back off, and we should be able to maintain that pretty well. So let's take a quick another look. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, we may be too high up, but based on what I've heard about what we're looking for, I think I'd be able to see it. Maybe I'll have to look into that. It's been a little while since I've seen any photos of this thing. It seemed fairly spottable. But we haven't covered the entire desert just yet, I suppose. This wouldn't be a bad place for a landing zone, though. It's relatively flat. We could come in for a landing here pretty easily, I'd think. We can also find some low-sitting areas in some of the other desert, I'm sure. Oh, we've pretty much just skimmed this. I thought we were closer down into here, so we're going to need to make a hard left and follow that out this way. Looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Might as well, since we're going to need to. I'm just going to pull this slowly across here so you can see the direction we're actually heading based on the nav ball down here. That little, in case you're unfamiliar, the little yellow marker shows our current trajectory. So right now you can see I'm kind of pulling up from it to change its trajectory, mainly by using the lift in my wings and pulling up and not, up and away from it. It should pull us and should change our trajectory in that manner. I hope this isn't coming off too redundant. I just thought about what I was saying, like the actual language I was using, and that was a little iffy, I think. Okay, so we're heading about east at this point. See if we can get this turned a bit more though. So we'll be heading a little bit south. It'll be mostly east, but a little south. Alright, come on now, pull that. Oh, we're up high, aren't we? 21. We're coming back down though, so that's good. Come on. Okay, we're heading about east. Let's see if we can keep up this altitude, because it's kind of nice. Okay. Let's go ahead and stable out. Oh, keep those engines thrusted. Let's take another scan here with the camera. Yep, I'm not seeing it just yet. We're gonna curve down a bit more. And pull ourselves a bit more south now. Come on now. We're entering a little bit thicker atmosphere as we go down, so it should make maneuvering easier. Actually getting more use out of the lift on our wings instead of just mostly engine up at the really high altitude. It's thinner atmosphere, so your wings have less and less of an effect other than just being weights, basically. Because there's no air to cut through and no air to generate lift off of. Well, there's littler air. I'm sure you guys are completely aware of how that works if you're enjoying Kerbal Space Program videos. Anyway, coming in here, I still don't see anything here on the horizons. Let's see. Let me go out this other way a little bit and tilt down. You know, I don't. I really don't. Thankfully, there was a backup plan this direction if we can't find this thing. I'm gonna keep scanning since I don't want to make this too long. It's just a flight video. But I'm gonna come back as we get closer. We'll decide we're gonna switch and do the other objective. Okay, guys. So as you can see, we're down in altitude. We're still dropping, and we're pretty low on speed. What I'm actually doing here is I'm gonna land, and I picked out a spot. I'm gonna land and send out a refueler. I'm going to build a refueler and bring it out here, just to kind of mark this as a good landing area, because I kind of do want one closer than we need it to be, just in case we're hauling extra stuff or anything. So I'm going to plan for that pretty close here. We're about 5K up still, and dropping. Actually, we're going to be lower than that because of the big desert here, big desert mountains basically above sea level. They're not mountains, but they're a bit higher than sea level, so you know, we'll plan for that. So let's go ahead and kick in a physical time warp, make this a bit quicker. I just wish we had better view here. Oh, there's my shadow. Okay, that gives me a good perspective actually. You can see it right there. Alright, SAS, you are shut off. I don't want you fighting me on the way down here. Alright. So I'm kind of watching that shadow just to get a good idea of kind of where we are in this process. It is getting bigger quicker, so I'm going to start cutting back up and trimming out for a glide. So we are coming in for our final descent. And I really like this plane because I can glide it. It makes for a pretty good glider, so being a return vessel, even without much fuel, this would be great for getting back to Kerbin because it glides so well. If we had to rely on you know, its gliding ability in case it ran out of fuel or anything, it wasn't able to give itself thrust to get anywhere. If it could at least glide in for a landing, that's hugely preferable to me. So there it is. As you can see, we're going about 65-ish. I'm diving, so we're going to pick up a bit more. I'm going to put out our landing legs at this point. My lights are on, so I should be able to start seeing those soon. Or start being able to see those soon. Not seeing. Oh, there. Actually, I am seeing those right there. It's faint. Hard to see it in the day. Let's see. This is really flat. I like this. Okay. Sorry. It's coming in just real nice and slow, and I kind of want to do this without the use of fuel so I can save as much as I possibly am able to. So look at that. pretty darn good there. Alright. Okay, ooh, we popped off the ridge a little bit. I'm gonna tilt and turn, kind of go down this hill area. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's slow that down there. Okay. This is a bit flatter. That's good. So I'll probably aim for up here. Oh, no, no. No, no, no. You stop there. You stop immediately. Actually, let's go ahead and get a little further up, I suppose. Come on. Pop off. There we go. Alright. So we're up to whereabouts we want to be. Whoa, lights just went a little crazy there. Okay, that's fine. Alright, alright, alright. Calm down. Calm down. I'm done. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to leave these guys here. I'm going to build the refueler, launch it. We're going to prototype it here. And we'll keep going from there. Thanks for watching. I'm going to call this the first episode. So that's the plan for next time. Cheers, guys.